Hi everybody, welcome to another pregnancy update. I'm 32 weeks and 1 day pregnant today with baby 2, and honestly I'm feeling quite good still. Not too uncomfortable, still managing to sort of get around, not really in pain, sleeping really well, which is great. I always slept well the last time I was pregnant as well, and I just don't know whether I'm just sort of one of those women who doesn't really suffer during her pregnancies, and I'm very grateful for that. So this week I just thought I'd mention a few things that I've noticed over the past few weeks that are interesting and I believe related to pregnancy. So once again I'm sort of feeling a bit stuffy, a bit congested in my nose, and also I notice my ears pop a lot, and I know that this can be as a result of being pregnant, so I guess that's just sort of par for the course. I don't know what's going on with my hair. It was doing really well for a while. I think maybe I need to get it cut short again. But for a while it looked great, and now it just goes really flat, and like all the curl has dropped out of it again. I used to have really curly hair before Leo was born, and then a lot of it just dropped out after he was born, and it's never really come back the same way. So again, I think that's just something you kind of can't really get away from. Feeling breathless often, but I actually think that that is related to my voice. I asked my mum about it because she knows my voice really well. She is a vocal coach, so she's a classically trained soprano singer, and she's a vocal coach, so she knows all about the vocal tract and how it works. She actually has a YouTube channel, so if you're interested in singing, I will put a link below and you can go and check it out. I asked her if she thought my voice was tired, and would she mind looking at a few of my past vlogs to just sort of analyse the vocal quality, and because what I don't want to do is I don't want to get into a bad habit of misusing my voice and therefore causing it to be tired. That is the main thing that I notice about my voice, is that it often feels a bit tired to me, a bit strained, almost husky. And she did some research and she got back to me and she said that it is quite normal to have vocal changes during pregnancy due to hormones that change during this time, of course. It just seems like, you know, anything goes when it comes to being pregnant. If you've got some kind of weird symptom, it's probably because you're pregnant, you know. Because some days my voice can feel totally fine, but today I'm noticing it feels, to me, tired. But she did say that I tend to hold on to a lot of my air when I'm speaking. So after I finish speaking, I often have a sort of out-breath where I just let it go, and that I shouldn't be doing that. I don't know why I've started doing it, because I never used to. I think that all of my itching has now stopped, which is fantastic. Last week I think I still was a bit itchy, particularly on my bump and just a few key places on my body, but I think that's more or less all gone now. It was my birthday on Sunday, and my mum gave me this very nice body moisturiser, body lotion by Sukin. I really like them because they're carbon neutral and they don't test on animals, and they're vegan and they don't have any nasties in them. So I really like them. I've got their hand cream as well, which I've used a lot, and I ran out recently and I actually asked for it for my birthday, so she gave me the hand cream as well. It's really good, really moisturising, and then yeah, the body lotion as well. So I haven't actually used that yet, but I think I will, because my skin is very dry as a result of having this rash and this itchiness. Like I said, it was my birthday on Sunday. Leo did me a very nice birthday card. Isn't it just adorable? I mean, of course I think he's adorable. The other thing that I really liked that he's done lately is he's done 2 pictures of mothers. And for me, this is kind of, this is boosting my ego a little bit, because he's showing a lot of artistic proficiency for somebody so young. So he did this one first, and it's of a pregnant lady, well, a mummy holding her new baby, and it's really quite good. You know, he's put a lot of detail into it. You know, she's got nostrils and eyebrows and stuff, and the shape of her face is actually very good. And then he did one the next day, and it was a little bit more detailed. This time of a pregnant woman, so she's got her bump and she's laying on a pillow, and I was so impressed because the pillow actually disappears behind her head, so he knows that it's behind her, and then she's actually got her hair, rather than it just all straight down like she's standing up, it's actually laid out on the pillow like it would be. He got a bit frustrated and he didn't want to do the hands because he said hands are hard, and to be honest, they are a real pain in the ass. It just really sort of like inflates my ego, so I just thought I'd put that in there. Also yesterday he wrote a little note to his brother. It says, what does it say? It says, "To little brother, I hope you have a good time being a good baby. Love from your big brother. Kiss, kiss, kiss," lots of kisses and hearts, and then times one more kiss. And with really, I mean, we talked about spelling of brother because he couldn't quite get that right. And yes, he spelled being with 2 E's, but it makes perfect sense. And he thought that kiss started with a C, so we just talked about how it actually starts with a K, and that more needs an E at the end. But I mean, he wrote that all by himself without me prompting him. And it's the kind of thing that I put in my diary and keep forever and ever, because I just think these things are priceless. He actually told John to stop giving Mummy a hard time. John wasn't giving me a hard time at all, it just sounded like he was. And Leo like told John off and was like, "Stop giving Mummy a hard time, she's having a baby." I had a conversation with a doula on Monday. I've actually known her for a couple of months now. I made her acquaintance quite by chance. I didn't know that she was a doula. I didn't know that she's vegan until quite recently. And she came over Monday and we had a discussion about what it would be like if she was my doula and what kind of things I actually want from this birth, and you know, how to proceed at this point. The one thing getting in the way of my desire of having a doula, because I do think that it would be invaluable, is cost. She's really great. She is all about empowering women. She is really pro-VBAC, obviously, because she's a doula. Most doulas are pro-VBAC. And she gave me some great advice about how to approach the hospital with regards to next steps. I really need to find out what can be achieved while I'm at the hospital in terms of achieving the kind of birth space that I want. But I am keen to have my VBAC, and I am keen to have it, you know, in a place where I feel relaxed and where the atmosphere is nice, and you know, lights are dimmed and it smells nice, and you know, unnecessary equipment is taken out of the room. I'm going to try and get in touch with my supervisor of midwives at the hospital that I'm due to give birth at and ask them about their protocol for VBAC and see how that goes. I have been practicing my hypno babies for about a week now, and it's a little bit more difficult to implement than I imagined it would be. There's a little bit more work in it than I had anticipated, but really when you break it down and you prioritise, it's not that hard to get it in. It's just right now with the Easter holidays and everything, Leo's around all the time, and sometimes just finding half an hour's peace just to be completely uninterrupted, you know, is quite difficult. And I'm not stressing out about it because obviously that doesn't help. Stressing out about this does not help. I can't really sort of be like, I don't want to tell myself that without doing it all properly, completely, that it won't work, because I think that what I am doing, as long as I try my best, it's got to do something. It will help in some regards. So even if I don't manage to get through all of the material in time for baby boy's arrival, then at least I will have some skills at my disposal to use during birth. Baby, I think, is absolutely fine. We've got a scan in a couple of weeks. He is moving around so much, and actually I think he's quite low down. So I actually think that this baby boy is lower than Leo was in the womb because of how low his movements feel. He has hiccups at least once a day, and they often come in the evening, and they are really low. I wouldn't even say that they are in my belly, I'd say that they're in the sort of pelvic region, and quite often, more so if I'm sitting up at the table like an upright chair, if he's moving around I can feel movements very low. They're kind of tickly. When I have Braxton Hicks contractions, sometimes I can actually feel something being pushed into my right hip quite forcefully, and I'm not really sure what that is. So I don't really know if he just feels lower and he's not in my pelvis, or if he actually has descended a bit into my pelvis. And if he has, fantastic, because that's further than Leo ever got. But then, you know, he still has like his feet right up in my ribs quite often. He actually made me jump recently because he really jabbed it in there. I think John really enjoys the fact that he can feel so much of him moving around now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Leo thinks it's really funny. Leo often talks to him. Yesterday when I looked in the mirror, I felt like my bump even looked a bit lower. But until I actually sort of compare footage from last week, I don't know. I think part of me is telling me I am imagining that. 32 weeks and 1 day. And I know quite a few of you have got a lot of love for the outie belly button, which has been actually a little bit painful from time to time. I think that's the hernia at the top there, that's my belly button. It hasn't got any larger, but actually last week I did notice it was feeling just a tad tender around that area, but I think that's quite normal. It's very veiny. So yeah, 32 weeks. Got all those veins. So I actually think that my belly is actually slightly lower, a little bit more slanty at the top.
I'd say.
And I don't know whether that means that he's moved down a little bit. If he has, fantastic. If not, never mind. I'm grateful for any progress that's made, basically. So yeah, I think that's everything that I wanted to mention this week. Continue to stay tuned for other videos, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll be back with another one really soon. Bye guys.